What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Trade for Yourself podcast, where my mission here is very simple. I just want to help you learn how to trade and invest in the stock market for yourself. So make sure that you please like this, please subscribe. Make sure you listen to this episode from start to finish. I promise you, you will not regret it. Please note that anything discussed in this episode is not financial advice. So please do your own research before investing into any stock. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Nvidia stock. And this episode is going to be a clip from my IG Live when I was breaking down Nvidia's earnings report. We're going to talk specifically about why Nvidia hit a $1 trillion market cap company and what are the big prospects that this company has to be able to continue to be profitable and gain value moving forward. Let's get right into it. The stock was up as much as 30% after hours. The stock was at about $394. $394. Now, understand this particular situation. The stock closed at $303 today. This stock was $300 yesterday. So you're talking about almost an increase of $100 in the span of a couple of days, right? So let me go ahead and run down what this IG Live is going to be about. What is it going to be about? Three things I want to talk about. Number one, why is the stock up like this? Why is this stock up so much? Okay, that's from a fundamental perspective. Number two, Nvidia just experienced an all-time high breakout. The stock is above its all-time high, and the stock itself is in a new bull market. With the stock, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, they're still in technical bear markets, but this stock is now in a new bull market. That's a huge deal. And number three, what does this mean moving forward, whether you're in the stock or not, and what opportunities does this provide? Because all that stuff and all that, we're going to talk about this in this live, and I'm going to break it down to you. So let's talk about the fundamentals. Why is this stock up? Let's talk about the earnings, okay? So Nvidia reported revenue in the first quarter of $7.19 billion. Now that was down 13% from a year ago, but it was up 19% from the previous quarter. So the company is showing growth from quarter to quarter, but it's still down from a year-over-year perspective. The GAAP earnings are 82 cents per share. That's up 28% from a year ago and up 44% from the previous quarter. So the GAAP earnings, those reported earnings, are actually getting better year over year, quarter over quarter. The non-GAAP earnings were $1.09. That was down 20% from a year ago and 24% from the previous quarter. So if you look at revenue and you look at earnings, it's kind of mixed from a year-over-year perspective, but it's good from a quarter-over-quarter perspective. Now, Jensen Huang is one of the best CEOs on the stock market. He's the founder and the CEO of Nvidia, okay? Hear this. We like CEOs that are founders of companies. Why? Because it's their baby. We know that it's their baby, and we know that they're going to make sure that it's good. And he is a very, very smart individual. What did he say about the company, right? He said the computer industry is going through two simultaneous transitions: accelerated computing and generative AI, right? $1 trillion of installed global data center infrastructure will transition from general purpose to accelerated computing as companies race to apply generative AI into every product, right? There's something very, very important that he said. He said that the data centers are going to be transitioning from general purpose to accelerated computing. Why is that important? Why in the world is that important for Nvidia? The reason why that's important for Nvidia is because Nvidia designs GPUs, graphics processing units, that go into computers, that go into cars, that go into all of these electronics. And the graphics processing units is what allows the speed of the computer. It's the speed that they need. So the GPU is the part of the computer that accelerates that speed, right? I'm talking about GPUs. You also may know about CPUs, right? CPUs are the central processing unit. That's the brain of the computer, right? That's the brain of the computer. But the GPU is what's really truly accelerating that speed of that computer. And Nvidia is the leader in terms of being able to generate that speed. So that's what I need you to understand. He's pretty much saying that his entire data center products, the entire family of the products is in production, and they have significantly increased their supply to meet their surging demand. And it's something that they've been doing this entire time. They've been doing this for the last 6 months because they've been preparing for it, right? You know, Nvidia was just $116 in October of last year. It was just at $116. This stock is over 3 times that number. So you understand what they've been doing behind the scenes, and they understand what they've been doing at the end of the day. Now, the big reason why this stock went up like it did is because of the outlook. So outlook and guidance, right? When we see these earnings reports, we like to see what the company did in the previous quarter. That's great. It lets us know, you know, what you were doing at this particular time. So, for example, let's take it to school, right? When you took home your report card, right? When you took home your report card, your parents wanted to see what you made in the last 9 weeks or in the last semester. They wanted to see what you were doing, and they are happy, right? But they would be even more happier if they knew that you were going to be doing well in the next 9 weeks, in the next semester, right? Wall Street and the stock market is a forward-looking mechanism, meaning what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? What are you going to do in the future? Okay. Nvidia did something that Wall Street did better than what Wall Street was, more than what they were expecting, right? Nvidia said that it's expecting sales of about $11 billion in the next quarter. That's more than 50% higher than the $7.15 billion, okay, that Wall Street was expecting. So Nvidia is anticipating that they're going to be generating more than half, like 50%, more than 50% of what Wall Street was expecting. That is a huge deal. What is this saying, right? Everybody's been using the term AI, right? Everybody's been talking about AI. Nvidia is telling you with this particular earnings report that they're actually making money from the AI, right? There's a lot of companies out here talking about AI and things of that nature. Nvidia is saying, hey, we got the cash to support. We got the cash to support. Also, not only are they generating the revenue, what else do they have? The gross margin outlook, the profit that they're generating, 68.6% margin from a GAAP perspective, 70% margin from a non-GAAP perspective. Do you understand that? This company is not only bringing in cash, but they're extremely profitable, right? And the stock's already been up 109% this particular year. But at the end of the day, guess what? That surging demand is what led that all-time breakout. So also, what else happened though? The data center, right? Nvidia is all about that data center, and those GPUs that I was talking about that they design are for those data centers. This company had 4.28 billion in first quarter revenue from a data center perspective. That's a record, right? Record revenue. We love seeing when companies start talking about record revenue in the earnings, right? This performance showed that the AI chips are becoming increasingly important for cloud providers, right? Think about OpenAI. Think about ChatGPT. Think about all of these large language models. Like they're talking about language models to where the machine learning, to where the company, not the company, but the computers have the ability to be able to think on their own, right? Nvidia is the leader of all of that, right? Is the leader of all of that. So we understand what they did from a revenue perspective, but it's even more key for us to understand the customers, right? The customers and the clients, right? Who does Nvidia work for? They work for Google. They have a strong relationship with Microsoft. They have a strong relationship with Oracle. right? They have a strong relationship with Amazon Web Services, right? All the major cloud providers. So what they're doing is they're doing AI from so many different perspectives, and they're working very, very closely with the largest cloud providers in the world. So what this tells you is that, yes, you may see this stock price up right now, and don't get me wrong, it's gonna pull back. But when we are able to establish those areas where we can get in, we need to get in and hold it for the long term. You know what I'm saying? Secure your long-term positions, but also we need to be trading it as well, because we understand, like I said, this stock is in a new bull market now. So now this stock is about to keep moving higher, okay? So that's from a data center perspective. I want to talk a little bit about automotive, right? Okay, automotive. What do you mean automotive? The first quarter revenue was a record, another record, 296 million, up 114% from a year ago. Okay, so Nvidia said that they won an automotive design win pipeline that's grown to over 14 billion over the next 6 years, when it was 11 billion a year ago. The company also announced that the world's leading electric vehicle maker, that the company BYD, okay, will extend its use of the Nvidia Drive platform across its new models. Okay, what does that mean, right? Nvidia is working on chips that can help with autonomous driving. I'm always talking to you all about Tesla, right? I'm always talking about Tesla, and I'm always talking about autonomous vehicles, and I'm always talking about all this particular stuff. Nvidia is making the chips for autonomous driving, right? So what is Nvidia doing? Nvidia is developing relationships with a company like BYD, a Chinese company like BYD, developing relationships with Mercedes-Benz, developing relationships with BMW, right? Companies that want to spend money, and they're inserting themselves into these industries that have so much growth, right? They have strong management, right? The company has strong management. The company has a good balance sheet. The company is loved amongst Wall Street. The company has some of the best technical innovation, okay? So what we have to understand is that this company, the reason why it went up 30% is because of strong fundamentals and because of the outlook, the guidance, what they said that they were going to be doing. They said that they have so much demand that they're thinking about what they're going to be doing in the second half of the year. And the second half of the year is going to continue to be strong, right? One other thing I want to mention to you all is about this Nvidia Omniverse Cloud. Remember, Nvidia Omniverse Cloud. This is a fully managed service running in Microsoft Azure, right? Remember what I was telling you, for the development and the deployment of industrial metaverse applications, okay? Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, they've been in collaboration. They've been in collaboration with each other, because what they understand is, and what they say the metaverse is going to be an industrial application. They're saying that the metaverse is going to be an enterprise application, and they're saying, hey, we can generate a lot of revenue together. And that's a big deal that we need to pay attention to. So I'm telling you, Nvidia's fundamentals, they're off the charts. The fundamentals are off the charts. They're very, very strong. A leading semiconductor company, right? Look at your SMH ETF, right? You know, this company, I don't know the particular number, but I know I heard somebody say that this company had gained over $200 billion in market cap in the last 3 hours. Okay, this company is larger than Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, understand what we're talking about. This company is inserting themselves. It may be a top 5 company. When the market closes tomorrow, this stock may be a top 5 company in the S&P 500. We don't know. But what we understand is that, number one, the reason why the stock went up is because it has strong fundamentals. The stock ain't going up like this if it doesn't have strong fundamentals and it didn't have strong leadership, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to touch on. Why is the stock up? Okay, what's the second thing we need to talk about? This stock just experienced an all-time high breakout, okay? And now the stock itself is now in a new bull market, okay? Why do I say this right now? I have my chart here on my iPad, but I'm gonna bring this up in a special episode. I'm gonna do a special episode on this, but I want you to just listen. I want you to just listen to what I got going on. If you can get you a chart, go ahead and get your chart too, right? So Nvidia, right? In November of 2021, Nvidia topped out at $346.47, right? Nvidia was at $346.47, right? That was the high. That was the high of that particular company. Now we're talking about the stock is at $384, right? The stock is over 10% what that previous cycle high was. So now, if you understand this, now this stock is making higher highs and higher lows, right? Structure. Now we're in a new structural bull market. That's why this is so exciting for the people that's not even in the stock right now. I'm not even in the stock right now. I'm not in the stock from a share perspective, and I'm not in the stock from a trading perspective in terms of options. But what I will tell you is that opportunities are going to be coming for you to get into the stock, because now the stock is going to continue to move higher and higher and higher. Y'all, we're only in the first 3 innings when we're talking about AI, to be 100% honest with you. Nvidia is the leader. Nvidia is out ahead because Nvidia is the best in class and they've been making the preparations. But if you look at a stock like AMD's up like 7% after hours, right? AMD is apparently working on a partnership with Microsoft about an AI chip. So there's going to be more than enough to go around. Jensen Huang was talking about the competition, right? He still said that there's a lot of competition in the landscape. A lot of competition when we're talking about companies that are not public, right? Companies that they're not even public yet. We're talking about existing semiconductor companies on the market that are in competition with each other. There's going to be more than enough money to go around because we understand this is very, very important. And so from a technical perspective, what do I think you should do from a technical perspective? From a technical perspective, what I think you should do is just let the stock run, right? Let's say you're not in the stock right now. Okay, let's say you're not in the stock. If you're not in the stock right now, what I think you should do is just let it run. Let it run and let it top out somewhere. It's going to top out somewhere eventually. You know, institutional investors, they may take a little profit tomorrow and then they may push it up a little further. But what you need to do is you need to let it top out, right? And figure out, okay, where is it going to top out at? From there, we need to start plotting levels, right? We need to start plotting levels, okay? The first level that you need to plot is going to be that previous all-time high that it broke out from, right? It's going to be a huge gap tomorrow on every single time frame you look at, but that all-time high, 346.47, that previous one, you need to go ahead and plot that, right? You need to plot that, okay? That's the first thing you need to plot. The second thing is that wherever it tops out at, you need to start drawing your Fibonacci retracements. Draw a Fibonacci retracement from the top all the way down to that previous bottom I was telling y'all about in October of last year, $108.13. That's going to give you some Fibonacci retracement levels, right? The 3 levels you need to look at. That 78.6% level, that 61.8% level, and that 50% level, right? Those Fibonacci levels that you need to plot, that may be areas of support that you can get into the stock, right? And then number 3, plot your other good areas, strong areas of resistance, right? Other areas of resistance, those key levels of resistance, right? So your previous all-time high, your Fibonacci levels, and then those strong areas of resistance, right? Those are going to give you areas to get into the stock, right? Because remember, what did I say? I said we're waiting on a pullback. We're like I said, we broke out, we made the higher high. Now we got to make a higher low. So now we got to wait on the higher low. And our objective, if we're trying to trade this particular stock, right, trade it, what we need to do is if we want to trade it, right, we need to get in at the higher low. And then our target is going to be the higher high. The target that we are looking for is going to be wherever it tops out at, right? So let's say if you're in Nvidia right now, let's say you're in Nvidia right now. Well, let's say you're in a trade right now. Obviously, tomorrow you're getting out. Obviously, right? That's obvious, right? You're getting out. And you're just going to let it top out, see what it does, and then come down. And remember, from a technical perspective, that's why this is so important. That's why this is so important. That's why like this is only the beginning. Like that's the thing. Like, everybody's going to say, man, Nvidia done made all that money, man, I'm done. No, this is only the beginning. Nvidia is the first major stock to make the first major tech stock since we've been in this bear market. Nvidia is the first big cap tech stock to break out and have a new bull market. It's the first one, right? What do you think Apple's gonna do? What do you think Microsoft is gonna do? What do you think Google's gonna do? What do you think Tesla's going to do? What do you think AMD is going to do? What do you think the remainder of technology is going to do? They're gonna have their time in the sun as well. Nvidia, their investors, the company, right? The engineers, that whole stock, right? Everybody's having their time in the sun and they're enjoying themselves. And I'm happy for y'all. Congratulations, because I understand that y'all are about to eat tomorrow. Y'all are about to eat. But guess what? Any other market participants that understand market structure, that understand technical analysis, that understand where the market is getting ready to go, that understand how good this company is from a fundamental perspective, you'll be able to take the next leg, right? The next leg up, right? The next leg up, you're gonna be able to benefit off that. You're gonna be able to benefit off the next leg up. So what I'm telling you is like, if you're not in Nvidia right now, do not be discouraged. Do not be dismayed, because you're going to have your opportunity. But guess what? But what you got to do, though, you got to be in the right position. You got to be in the right position. You got to be paying attention. You can't be asleep. Now, we understand what the company has done. We understand what the company has the capability of doing. Now what we have to do is now everything that I told you about the fundamentals. The third thing, what should we do now? What does this mean for us moving forward? The third thing you got to do is you got to go research everything I told you. You got to go verify everything for yourself. Y'all, I created the Trade for Yourself podcast. I'm trying to teach y'all how to trade and invest for yourself. So now you got to go review everything I told you for yourself. And you got to look at, okay, what is Nvidia really doing? Right? Who is Jensen Huang? Like, who is he? Right? Like, Devon's telling me the company got good balance sheet. The company has got good income. Got good cash. Everything is good about the company, but why? And you gotta listen to the earnings call. Like, I just got off the earnings call. I had to listen to it. I had to see what management was saying, right? Number one, I had to see what management was saying, but number two, I had to see what questions that the analysts asked management and what their responses were, the color around it. Because what are they doing? They're telling you everything that's going on about the business, and they're telling you everything that's going on about the industry, right? So understand all that. Again, in review, okay, Nvidia went up as much as 30%. The stock is up over $79 per share after hours. The reason why I did it is because it has strong fundamentals, strong guidance, strong outlook. The company is telling us that they're going to be doing very, very well in the next quarter, and they have expectations to do very, very well in the second half. Number two, the stock just experienced an all-time high breakout, and the stock is in a new bull market. So guess what? As a trader, as an investor, that's giving you another opportunity to get into a stock. We want to get into stocks that are going up and to the right. We don't want to get into stocks that's going down and to the right. But when it's going up and to the right and when it's breaking out, we got to pick our spots and we got to plot that out technically. That's why I said, and that goes to number three. What does this mean moving forward? What this means moving forward is that now you got to take this information. you got to go research it, and you got to put yourself in the position to be prepared. Jim Cramer on CNBC, he uses this term called raising cash, right? Raising cash. He says that he has to go out there and raise cash for his funds, right? Raise cash for his fund. And this time, I need you to start raising some cash for your brokerage account, right? I need you and your people to start raising some cash, start getting some cash together. So whenever the opportunities come, you can then insert yourself and put yourself into the market, right? Start raising that cash, because it's going to take some time for everything to come into fruition. But when it comes into fruition, you have your level set. You're going to be ready to execute. You're going to be ready to do your thing. You see what I'm saying? Those are 3 things you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Those are things you need to do. You do that, you're going to be A-okay. You're going to be A-okay. So there's so many great things that we can say about Nvidia, but this is what I want to tell you. Nvidia is going to be a company that's going to continue to do well over the long term. Now what we have to do is we have to prepare ourselves and get ready to invest into the company by getting your capital together, having money together, having it on the side, and understanding what price you are going to pay for. We're going to continue to talk about this over time, but you need to understand what we're going to be able to pay for it, and just understanding what you need to do to get yourself in position to be able to invest into this company. But you have to wait for the opportunity to come. As always, I thank you all for tapping into another episode of the Trade for Yourself podcast, okay? Please like this. Please subscribe. Reach out to me in the comments and let me know how you feel about Nvidia stock, and if this is a stock that you believe in over the long term. As always, remember, don't pay for it. Trade for it. I'm going to tap in with y'all in the next episode.